your late father's situation, did it give you a PR hiccup of sorts? Because there were contradictory reports until later you emerged well. But what actually happened?
No, it gave a very bad PR. And apart from the bad PR, it also had a major toll on me emotionally. And of course, it also affected my fundraising. So there were periods that my team would sit and say, Charlie, should we just let this election pass so that we can actually mourn properly? And then family members will call and say, no. If Nana was alive, this is exactly what he would have wanted you to do. So go ahead. We will take care of the business. You don't deal with Nana's issue again. We will deal with it. You know, so it was a mixed feeling. But yes, you asked what actually happened.
Yeah, but you were accused of deliberately.
Yeah, I think later all those issues fell off. And I think the first point I would want to make is, until I entered into mainstream politics, I never knew people could be so cruel and concoct stories that are non-existent and make them so close to the truth. So for instance, 2 days after my father had died, I was in a room and my little daughter came to me crying with a story that had been posted on 3news.com with a picture of a dreadlock guy walking at Rage. And the caption of the story is, Obuor fights Adom-Otchere men at Rage for his father's body. Acrimonious. I mean, I had been locked indoors for 3 days crying my father, and then somebody just comes out with a story. I don't know what it is, whether it's to paint me black or whether it's to I just don't know, but somebody just created that story. And funny enough, I had people close to me. They'll come, oh, Obuor, oh, Charlie, is it, I'm worried. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Or is father's thing making you, you know, hurt mentally? Because they are believing that. They do believe that maybe I had gone to Rage to fight Adom-Otchere. And I'm like, come on, guys. You've known me. I mean, am I that loosed up there to go to the Adom-Otchere to go? I mean, it was crazy. And the whole narration, the rate at which the story was broken. I mean, I heard of my father's demise on radio.
You didn't know he had died?
No, I heard of it on radio. It was.
He died in hospital.
Yes, he died in hospital.
But you had taken him to the hospital.
I had taken him to my name is there, my number is there. I had left him barely an hour. I had been in constant communication with the doctors, taking care of him. He passed, and I heard it on radio. I was like, wow.
The doctors didn't call you?
No, nobody called me. And it was as if somebody was trying to either put something out so that, because then later all sorts of things started happening. I mean, we had taken my father to the hospital. We had told them he had come from the UK. We have told them the symptoms he's exhibiting. Everything was declared. But then the story that came out said, when we brought him, we didn't even mention that he had come from UK, which was total blatant lies. So I was like, where's this? So my lawyer wrote to them that they should make us, we made a complaint, so they should give us a copy of the form we filled. We never got that form, we never got a reply. After my father passed, and they made it look like he passed from COVID. Because what it is everybody that said my father had died of COVID never mentioned Obuor. They said a popular musician's father had died of COVID. So more or less hiding behind the veil, you can't take a legal action against the person because you are not the only popular musician. They never mentioned Obuor's father has passed from COVID. Else we would have taken legal action.
So it wasn't COVID?
No. The state at some point, I mean, I had
test positive for COVID at some point.
We never got a result that tested positive.
Did you get a result that said
we
negative?
We never got a result
at all.
We asked countless times. We never got a result. We never got a result. I mean,
but he tested
officially. We never got.
He did test.
Yes, we did test. I tested. He tested. Some of the family members who had and everybody was negative. In Jaso, for instance, over 43 people that had very close contacts with, including his wife, tested, and everybody came out negative. So I mean, the Queen Mother of Jaso was saying, if Nana did have COVID, then there was a special type of COVID. you know, because everybody that had COVID one way or the other.
But you never got the results from the hospital.
We never did.
You didn't demand it?
We did. We followed over and over, and later we just allowed the lawyers to deal with them. I mean, what is good for me is after a while the family took over, and later I got briefed by the family that they've given us the cause of death, and it wasn't COVID. And of course, I later heard the Minister of Information speak on radio and on TV, and I think the person interviewing him was saying, like Obuor's dad who passed of COVID, and he said, did they tell you he died of COVID? You know, and he clearly said he didn't have any brief that my father died of COVID. So for me, that was like a closure, you know, because then somebody high in authority, somebody who has information, was clearly stating that he didn't die of COVID. And then, of course, the family met with the hospital. They had, you know, different discussions, and then they allowed the family to bury my father. So with all that, I felt the man is already gone, you know. So no amount of fighting, no amount of dragging this, a legal war, you know, and all that.
Did you feel that from the social media response? Do you feel that people hate you?
At a point, it took only a few good men that made me sane, you know, because at a point, I was just going crazy, like 3,000 insults on my Instagram handle, my Twitter, you know. But then,
what were they saying?
Oh, countless. Obuor is wicked.
Greedy.
How can you kill? How can you make all the nurses? At the end of the day, all the nurses that saw my father, they tested COVID. After 14 days after their Monday, everybody was negative. Everybody was negative. So then I'm sure if the people followed, later on, all the majority of these people came back into my inbox. We apologize. We are sorry. We didn't know. So what happened? You know, then I just felt, you know,
for you, a popular guy, you know, well loved because of your great music, it must have been very difficult for you.
It was a very, very
and maybe shocking.
I think what shocked me the most, and I'll be blunt with you, is so when my father showed symptoms of difficulty in breathing, I called the ambulance service. I called myself, and I told the person who picked up that yes, we took him even yesterday to Ridge Hospital. We tested him for COVID, but the results have not come. So when you are coming to pick him, come well, you know, because we are all protecting ourselves. The guys took my dad, came prepared, took my dad to Ridge. We didn't know because we are not doctors, but again, we just had to take care of ourselves. The ambulance leader took my personal number and said he's begging me when the test results come out, I should call him so that if it is positive, then he can also go ahead and quarantine, because of course, even though he was protected, he had he had contact with him, you know. So when the hula baloo came up, they said my father was COVID and all that. I called the ambulance guy. You know, I was like, the hospital is saying we didn't even tell them that my father had come to test for COVID. You were there. You gave me your number that after the results I should even tell. He said, oh no, Obuor, you didn't talk to me about that. I was like, I didn't talk to you about that, so how did I get your number? Oh, bear in my number there, you took it so that if there's a problem you will call me. I said, but there's an ambulance number. Why would I take your number? You know, so that I realized that okay. So maybe somebody is talking to somebody. So that was, at that point I realized that, okay, let me just leave this to, you know, pass. I'm sure God would vindicate me at the appropriate time. And gradually things started falling in place, you know.
That has been very tough. I mean, I didn't know it was that difficult.
No, it was a very difficult period for me.
In all of this situation, you went into the election.
Wow. It was a very difficult period. And again, I went into the election because I believe that my father actually came to Ghana to come help me campaign.
Well, that's why he came.
That's mainly why he came to Ghana, because he had gone.
Is he strong there?
Yeah, he's a chief in the community. You know, so if my father was alive, there's no way this election would have lost.